Right now on Denver7 News, Saturday morning indoor dining temporarily banned in more than a dozen Colorado counties. How the people who run those restaurants are dealing with tighter COVID restrictions. And fast food isn't fast when it seems everyone wants a taste, right? We'll take a look at the remarkably long lines to get into that new Aurora In-N-Out burger. Good morning to all of you. I'm Eric Lufer.
And I'm Katie LaSalle. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get right outside to what's going on today. In the weather department, skies are clearing and we're in for a seasonal afternoon. But this morning we are still waking up to some cloud coverage off to our west, gradually decreasing clouds over the metro. Temperatures right now cold out at DIA. We're at 29 degrees, low 30s downtown, but winds relatively calm, sustained from the west, just at 6 miles per hour. Elsewhere across the state, we're in the low 20s over Steamboat Springs up through Craig, 30s right now. Aspen, Gunnison, and Salida with 20s and 30s over the majority of the eastern plains. Now your weather headlines for this morning, we're still seeing a couple of flurries, especially into our central high country, mainly at those higher elevations. Those will clear up here in a bit. Decreasing clouds and dry across the state this afternoon. Sunshine and 50s for later on. A daytime high of 52 expected right around 4 o'clock, and a pretty nice weekend ahead. Very seasonal weather, and I'll take you through what it looks like for our Thanksgiving forecast still to come.
All right, Katie, see you in a bit. 1 in 49 Coloradans is contagious with COVID-19 right now. Colorado is in the worst shape we've seen since the pandemic began. Here are the numbers to prove just how bad it is. Another 5,700 positive cases were reported in Colorado yesterday. We've surpassed 188,000 total cases. More than 1,700 people are hospitalized either with a confirmed or suspected case of the virus. That's now the highest number to date. Now, today is 15 Colorado counties. Many in the metro area are officially in the red zone on the state's COVID-19 dial. 5 more will be there tomorrow. Larimer County will move to the red zone on Tuesday. The governor is hopeful that new restrictions like eliminating indoor dining, reducing capacity at gyms will discourage people from socializing.
Now is the time to be extra cautious. You know what you need to do. We simply need to do it better, and it could make the difference of thousands of lives, maybe even your own, if you do the right thing.
So let's send it out now to Denver7 reporter Sean Toll live in the newsroom with a look at what restaurants think of all this. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Eric. What they think of it is they're not thrilled, and understandably so. It's an extremely tough time for the restaurant industry as indoor dining is essentially non-existent for this foreseeable future, and as the weather gets colder, it's not an easy proposition for them. Just last night, the grand illumination at Union Station, but the fun, festive holiday atmosphere was cut short as Denver's red zone went into effect at 5 p.m. The new level added restrictions, hitting restaurants the hardest, as that is a night that many in the area typically rely on for business to come through the door, and they scaled back to carry out and outdoor dining with Denver's Home by 10 order and last call at 8 p.m., but some people came out, but businesses definitely were being impacted.
Of course it's disappointing, but we know during this weekend and through the holiday season, at least before 8, we can still go to Larimer Square. It's beautiful. We have a ton of outdoor seating, and the restaurants are wonderful as usual.
We strive on patio business, so we get affected every year during the winter time. This year it's especially hard on us, and we're doing the best we can.
And who knows just how long we'll be in the red zone, so restaurants will have to figure out a little more to get through the cold nights ahead, as well as the holiday season, sitting empty at least at a time when typically they are packed. Back to you guys.
Trying times. Thank you, Sean. And Thanksgiving, we know, is less than a week away, and the CDC is sending a warning asking all of us to avoid traveling for the holiday. Well, Denver7's Micah Smith reports from DIA on the precautions you should take if you are still planning to travel.
Airlines say ticket sales have been slow and they faced quite a few cancellations, and that's because of the surge of COVID-19 cases in major cities across the country. Now, even though Denver International Airport is seeing a significant decrease in travelers from last year, again, the Centers for Disease Control is recommending against any travel this Thanksgiving holiday. So the 34,000 Coloradans that AAA says are planning to fly is still a pretty big number. The CDC says if you must travel, you should be extra vigilant when it comes to protecting yourself and others. Wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart from other people, wash your hands, and sanitize as much as possible. TSA says they plan to do their part as well to keep everyone safe. That includes wearing PPE and changing their protective gear often.
Gloves have always been required. They're going to be changing those more frequently. Also, anytime a passenger requests that a TSA officer change their gloves, the TSA officer is required to change their gloves.
TSA is asking everyone who plans to travel through an airport within the next week to be prepared before going through security. For example, take liquids out of your bag when they have to stop the line, check your bag, it slows things down, and you're stuck in an area with quite a few people. So again, be vigilant, make sure you take all of those items out of your bag so you can get through security quickly. Reporting from DIA, Micah Smith, Denver7.
Micah, thank you. Well, some Americans could be vaccinated for COVID-19 very soon. Yesterday, drug maker Pfizer filed for emergency youth authorization from the FDA in the hopes that it can start distributing the vaccine soon after. So just days ago, Pfizer announced its vaccine is 95% effective. And now the drug maker says we could see the vaccine as early as next month if it gets the green light from the FDA.
President Trump's claims that he won the election, not stopping the work of election officials in several states at this point. Late yesterday, Georgia's Secretary of State certified Joe Biden as the winner of the state's electoral votes. President Trump could theoretically ask for another recount, but it would have to be done by machines, not by hand. 2 Wisconsin counties are hoping to have recounts finished by the middle of next week. The president's team had paid $3 million for recounts in the 2 counties, which include Milwaukee and Madison counties. The president lost Wisconsin by 20,000 votes. The recount will cover about 800,000 votes. President-elect Joe Biden will soon begin meetings with Democratic leaders on Capitol Hill. He still doesn't have access to transition materials. The woman who could give him access, General Services Administration Chief Emily Murphy, is supposed to explain why she's holding up the process by Monday. House Majority Leader Nancy Pelosi says she will step in if the holdup continues.
This week, more than 200 nonprofit organizations called on the incoming Biden administration to cancel all student debt loan. That's $1.7 trillion total. So in an open letter to the group, they write, debt is associated with negative mental and physical health outcomes such as stress, depression, and obesity. Student debt cancellation would boost GDP, create jobs, and reduce unemployment. Well, Biden's administration says they want any student debt forgiveness to come from Congress, not an executive order. And earlier this week, the president-elect endorsed the House stimulus plan, which provides $10,000 in debt forgiveness for every borrower. But not everyone agrees that this plan would help. Nonpartisan researchers say even if we eliminate all of that debt tomorrow, less than 5% of the money will make its way back into the economy next year.